I'm cold. It's cold now. Hi friends! I know someone's listening to this video. So I decided, and I kind of realized I didn't really... So for those of you who watched my previous Dreamcatcher videos know that my sister has been sitting with me this whole time, for the most part. She sat with me with the Wings videos and the first two Dreamcatcher videos. I thought since I already have everything set up for, just me, and I also thought, I don't really need her for all the videos, so I thought I would just get this final video of the kind of first arc of Dreamcatcher being Dreamcatcher done. So I do know from what she said is that Fly High is a prequel to Chase Me. Chase Me being their debut song, and then Good Night following that, right? Yeah. I was like, oh, I almost couldn't remember. Yeah, so Chase Me being their debut song as Dreamcatcher, followed by Good Night, which you've already reacted to. Go check them out, please. And then Fly High being kind of a prequel to Chase Me, but not quite explaining how we got into the situation that we see in Chase Me. A little vague. Next one is You and I. I don't know if I will react to that by myself as well, or if I'll have my sister join me. Probably that. But the reason we're going through not really Dreamcatcher deep dive, but a way through is because we're gonna go see them for their reasoned fan thing that they've decided to do for at least American fans. Sorry everybody else. And so we're gonna see them early March. So I thought it'd be fun as and I say Dreamcatcher way through because we're not really diving into their B-sides. We're just kind of hitting all the music video title tracks. And so it's more like a wade through of kind of the surface level of Dreamcatcher. I do like some of their songs. I love Jazz Bar. In terms of their solo songs, I love Gaian's Playground. Dami's solo, I caught my ear first because it was so similar to like how the music I grew up with. But I think my favorite solo song is definitely Winter by Handong. So I've seen her video of that. I've also watched a special clip where she did little snippets of different songs, Dreamcatcher songs, and Winter. So I do know a little bit of their music, but I'm not an active fan. I don't actively follow their stuff like I do with other groups. So that's why my sister mainly recommended that, so I wouldn't be too ignorant of the music. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. Alright, it looks like we either have Sua or Handong beginning. Might be Sua. We almost looks like we're the White Cliffs of Dover. Almost, but pressing play. I was wrong on all accounts. It's neither neither Gaia nor Sua. Whoa! This feels a little minxish right now. And again, some of what I said in my previous reaction that for Chase Me, some of the the scenes that showcase the girls before Chase Me feel very minxish. So I wonder if, because this is a prequel kind of to Chase Me, if they're gonna have some very Minx-like aspects to it as a way of kind of also bringing a close to that era officially. This is so loud. This is very bright. The colors are bright. We're starting strong off with like music, but yeah. This song reminds me a lot of some of like the Japanese OSTs I hear for anime. Especially with the guitar. Now it's starting off kind of bright, but it's a very good chance for it to get dark pretty quickly. Where are they filming? Oh, now we're getting a little darker because we have kind of these darker versions of Focus of their other costumes. Oh, that looks so cute. It's almost like out of finishing school in some ways. Xian looks so young here. Dami's still using the upper parts of her voice. Alright, let me pause a little bit. So, for a second, she kind of saw another version of herself. So, my sister did say that this won't really explain anything up to how they got into Chase Me. So this is what I would be asking. I was like, okay, so how do these three relate? How did they get here? What's the background? What's the lore behind it? I love that stuff. So that's what I want to know. It's very bright. This is a much brighter feeling song than Chase Me. And definitely Good Night. Good Night got a little darker than Chase Me did. This is very bright. I'm curious. I know they finally, like, I don't know if a fan did it or somebody else did it for Happy Face, like put subtitles on the video. So before the review, I'll look at the lyrics to see if it makes sense for me. I mean, but the vocals it's just so loud. The vocals are so strong. Like, duh. They're strong, but I mean, it's Dreamcatcher. So you've got these bright stuff, but then you also have these shadows popping in, like this dark stuff. Oh, there we go. I love it. The shredding, nice. Like the little taste there. It's almost like if like you were watching this video and you were like, this is kind of bright for this is very Minx-ish. But then you hear like like heavy metal strumming and they're shredding on the guitar. You're like, never mind, we're good. Just had a reminder. Okay, this is Dreamcatcher now. Before they get popped back into the brightness. Is she burning something? I feel like something was like, oh, those are butterflies. I thought they were birds earlier. And then I switched to the blue. It almost looked like there was something in the jar, but then Yuya was holding the eyeglass, magnifying glass, if she was burning something. And I also had to try and do escape. Where are they? Can you tell me where they are? Because the house was really cool. And where they're filming is beautiful. Ooh, Dalmi's going a little deeper this time. That told me nothing. Oh, that's hilarious. I know nothing. I know nothing what's going on. Okay. Visually, alright, I don't know. I'm gonna rewatch it, turn the lyrics on, the translation lyrics on, so I know what the heck they're singing about. And then we'll get into the review. So let's dive right in. So it's interesting how this song kind of tricks you at the beginning because it feels almost G-Friend-esque in terms of the bright colors and the very synchronized dancing, but then it like slowly devolves into not G-Friend, no duh. But also, Yuyeon is such a jerk in this video. She freaking killed the spider that Gio got. Like, how rude. You're such a jerk. Why would you do that? That's awful. Something also, maybe because of how the music video is, I missed it, but it didn't seem like Handong and Guyan had a lot of lines in this video. It seemed like they barely had any. Again, it's hard to tell when, they're on camera. I'm assuming when they're on camera, that's them singing. But even then, like, Handong wasn't, like, focused on camera that much. And Guyan not much either. It was really the original five that were singing a lot, especially Yuyeon and Xian because they're sharing the chorus. So I was watching it going, like this, when I watched like the second or third time around, I was like, they don't have a lot of lines actually. But this song is not my favorite because it almost feels like an identity crisis to some degree. Now, viewing it in terms of lore as a prequel to Chase Me and viewing it as saying goodbye to officially goodbye and ending it, moving on to other arcs, to the Minx era, moving on with the 7 of them. And also the fact that it came out in the middle of July, which makes kind of a summer song. Oh, sorry. So it kind of makes sense, the more upbeat and kind of upbeat vibes, yeah. And definitely even the heavy metal strumming and the shredding was short-lived, but also more like the scales that it used from when I was listening to it. It wasn't as like dark as it could be. So viewing it in again in that context of a prequel to Chase Me lore-wise and coming out in the middle of the summer sort of makes sense, and if you put it in that context. But at the same time, when I'm watching it, I was like, this feels kind of weird, almost like an identity crisis. So I am excited to see what You and I is going to be like. So I'm assuming, since they have these arcs, that this arc with Chase Me, Goodnight, and Fly High is officially over. We're done. Because this is... Wow, they went back to back to back. Were these songs all on the same album? So Goodnight came out in April. So that's crazy. Like, they were so so busy. Like, they're only a few months apart. The gap between these songs are very different than the gap between their Ming songs. So they debuted as Dreamcatcher in January 12th of 2017. And then April, 3 months later, they drop Goodnight. And then 3 months later, they drop the summer-esque song, prequel song, Fly High. So there's a much bigger gap. I don't know if they released anything between Fly High and You and I, but considering my sister put You and I as the next video, it's almost like it's over 9 months between You and I and Fly High. So there's a big gap there. So it's almost like bop bop bop. Here is the 3 songs that represent the beginning of Dreamcatcher and kind of the end of Minx, especially when you consider these like flashbacks and these other scenes. And then almost 10 months later, they come back with another song, which I have a feeling will have a much stronger Dreamcatcher feel than the previous 3 songs did, which will be interesting. So I am excited for that. I'm actually gonna probably watch that one with my sister for sure. And then, you know, maybe if I miss anything, let me know, because I really appreciate it. But these aren't my favorite songs. Chase Me is fun. I really like Goodnight. Fly is not my favorite. I'm not that into it. But even if I view it into the context of what it might be, it's not my favorite. So it's not supposed to be. I mean, most of my favorite Dreamcatcher songs that I've heard so far are a lot later in their career. But that's really all I've got to say. For those of you who are new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. If there's anything about lore or background that I just went over my head, lyric-wise, went over my head. I usually talk about lyrics. Didn't really talk about lyrics because they were okay. It feels like, is it like more of a fan song? Because my sister says they don't really do love songs as their title tracks, at least. So I can't view it like that. So is it like a fan song? Like, I'm trying to figure out the context of it. But also, bad on Yuyan for killing Jiu's spider. That's so mean. Anyway, thank you for those of you who are new for Insomnias. I do appreciate your comments and corrections and directions. Anything that I can know more about the girls in order to appreciate them more, just let me know, please. And for those of you who are returning, again, I am trying to change how I introduce myself on the videos, how I talk to you guys, and how I end the videos. Hi, friends, and share with your friends, share with your enemies, and I'll see you next time. Is kind of... It's worked for Brianna C Reacts, not for Brain Sprout Reactions. Anyway... share with your friends, share with your enemies, and I'll see you next time.